Marmalade Library is built and named for the Marmalade District. And the Marmalade District is named for the fruit trees that were planted here in this area by some of the very first residents of Salt Lake City. Throughout this project, we've always tried to be cognizant of this fact and this history. And we've tried to capture the unique ingredients and flavor that make up marmalade. That's one. That is the first reference that I'm going to make today to fruit and marmalade. I have to say that in one of our most recent meetings, we joked about how many times I could bring up a fruit or marmalade reference in my speech. So that's the first one. I'm going to try to hold the attention of the kids here. Okay, so I and many others in this audience have been part of this project since before it was even a seed in the ground. You getting it? The process up to this point has been a long one, over 6 years. And we're pleased that you've come here to join us to enjoy the fruits of our labor. I'm just getting started. As you look around this empty field, you might think 6 years, but really, there was so much to it. We had to pick the location, we had to pick the architect, and we had to pick the carpet. But now is the perfect time to let everyone in on the process so that the whole community can watch our carefully considered plans come to fruition. There are a few people that I'd like to thank who have contributed countless time, energy, and vision, plus patience and perseverance when we were in a jam. I'm going to start with the Marmalade Steering and Technical Committees, which are comprised of community members, library staff, and city representatives. Laura Bayer, Franz Berghoff, Luana Chileli, Debbie Ehrman, Paul Ernst, Mark Ewing, Tommy Hamby, Nephi Kemethmuller, Katya Pace, Rebecca Pittum, Wendy Rendon, Safi Safula, Andrew Shaw, Katrina Stuckey, Joseph Warren, Doug Wortham, and Brooke Young. Also, the RDA, or the Redevelopment Agency, DJ Baxter, Ed Butterfield, Ben Davis, and City Council Member District 3, Stan Penfold. The library staff who will run the place, truly the sugar in the mix. The City Council who provided funding, Kevin Blaylock and Blaylock and Partners, our architects. Mocha Systems, our construction managers. West High, Washington Elementary for hosting focus groups. Ascent Construction, who will be building this great building. The Marmalade community members who provided feedback and guidance. The Salt Lake City residents and city library patrons who will be visiting this library and all other Salt Lake City libraries. And Harmon's for the cookies. I'm going to turn the time over now to some other speakers. We will start with Mayor Ralph Becker, followed by Councilman Stan Penfold, Library Director John Spears, West Capitol Hill Community Council Chairman Eric Jurgensen, and then Kevin Blaylock, our architect, with Dallas Knowlton from Ascent Construction.
Ella, thank you and the library board for working so hard to bring this day to fruition. To our RDA, both our RDA members, the City Council, and our RDA staff who have worked so hard to make the library here, the Marmalade Library, really the centerpiece of this new development in the neighborhood. And I particularly want to thank the neighborhood. I know that this has been a project that has been a long time coming. We've weathered a great recession and the inability of a developer to move forward on this project in this location, and weathered an awful lot of tough, vacant land here that really should be the centerpiece for the whole Marmalade neighborhood, but is only now coming to fruition. Libraries do so much in our community, of course, as a service to our neighborhoods, as a service to the overall community, both as gathering places, obviously as learning places, providing so many additional opportunities for residents and our kids for places to learn, and socialize and enjoy themselves. And this library will be a magnificent addition to the library system in Salt Lake. It is part of what will be a major development here that will be mixed use. We're going to have residential, we'll have commercial. Some of it is started on the other side of the street, really, as part of this project. And we're so looking forward to getting this project both underway and completed, most importantly, for all of us to enjoy and appreciate as part of this neighborhood and part of the city. The RDA is going to be commencing some improvements along 300 West that, they've done a little bit of work here, but you're going to be seeing some major improvements starting this summer, so that'll be great, both for the neighborhood and really for everyone in the whole area. The development not only will include residential and commercial uses, but there'll also be a really wonderful open space element to the development coming forward. So thank you particularly again to the neighborhood for your patience. This project I know is one that the neighborhood has been involved in intimately for many years, and it's wonderful to see it finally coming together and starting with the centerpiece, our library. So thank you to all for your work. We're looking forward to the ground being broken and a lot of development and wonderful attributes of the city coming forward as a result. Thank you. And next we have the council member from this area and chair of the RDA board, Stan Penfold.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ella. It's an honor for me to be here. Some might say that a politician's favorite neighborhood is the one they're standing in the moment. But let me assure you that this is one of the most exciting neighborhoods for me in the entire city. What's been happening here in the past few years has been nothing short of incredible. And it's primarily a reflection of the people who live here, people who have lived here for 50 years and more, and people who've lived here for 5 months. This is an exciting place to be right now. I'm sure you feel the energy. There are a lot of people moving into this neighborhood. There's new housing happening. There's new activity. The proximity to West High and good schools and to downtown make this a really great place to live. The neighbors have been incredible in this process. I want to especially thank them for what they've, the hard work that they've put into everything from site selection to design review to interfacing with the library on programming. It's been a great process. Thank you, neighborhood volunteers, for being part of that. I'd like to thank also the steering committee. Ella mentioned them. They've done some amazing work in this process, so thank you all very much. The RDA, of course, it feels a little self-serving to thank the RDA since I'm the chair, but we've done an amazing job here getting to where we are today. So thank you, RDA. And also, in particular, I'd like to thank the library. They were very forward-thinking. They wanted to be in this neighborhood. They worked really hard to get here, and they've made a commitment on this corner that I think is going to be the significant marker for what happens in this neighborhood. The building they've selected is absolutely incredible. I'm thrilled to see it start, and I'm really excited to see it completed. One of the things that's a huge component for me that I think is part of the neighborhood process is this library is truly designed to be a community center. And that's been a part of the design. It's been part of the work that goes into the space and programming of the library. It's been part of the plaza and the green space we're building behind it. So I'm very excited to see this finally underway. And again, thank the neighborhood. You've been very, very patient and persistent, and that's why we're here today. So thank you all so much for your involvement. John Spears, our library director.
Good morning. In addition to thanking everyone who's already been thanked, I have a few more as well. I want to thank all of the board members who are present, Holly Yoakum, Denise Thornhill, Luana Shaleli, Ella Olson, and Nate Salazar. And I also want to recognize our board president, Kevin Werner, for all of the work that he's done to make this library a reality today. In addition, I want to recognize a special guest that we have here today, and that is Donna Jones-Morris, the Utah State Librarian. Thank you very much for being here, Donna. There's a few staff that deserve special credit for making this library a reality. One is our Associate Director for the main library, Debbie Ehrman, who has guided this process through, I'll just stop it through a lot. And then also Patty Steed, another one of the library's associate directors who really paved the way on making this library reality with the work that she did in the Glendale Library. Some other staff that need to be recognized, and I'm actually going to ask them to stand. Would any of the staff members from the browsing library at the main library please stand? Oh. There are more than her, she's just sitting up front. The browsing library staff has done something truly incredible and selfless. They have volunteered to be the nucleus of the staff for the Marmalade Library. So this library will be getting a staff that has worked together, that knows each other, and is going to hit the ground running to make this the best library that it can be. I also noticed there is one additional board member that I'd like to recognize, Mimi Charles. And then one final thank you to Day Christensen, who will be doing the public artwork here at the Marmalade Development. This is kind of a special day for me for a lot of reasons. In addition to doing the groundbreaking for the Marmalade, it was literally 1 year ago today that I first stepped foot in Utah and in Salt Lake City. I was here for a 3-day interview process to hopefully at the time and now become the executive director of the Salt Lake City Public Library. And over the 3 days that I was here, I was absolutely amazed by this community, by this library, and I fell in love with both very quickly. The city libraries belong to all of the residents of Salt Lake City. But the reality is that each of our branches takes pride in serving the needs of the specific communities that they're located in. Chapman serving Poplar Grove, Anderson Foothill serving, surprisingly enough, Foothill, Sweet serving the Avenues, Sprague serving Sugar House, and Day Riverside serving the Rose Park neighborhood. We are one library, but we take pride in the fact that each of our neighborhood locations is an integral part of that specific community. And while they belong to everyone in Salt Lake City, they do a phenomenal job of representing the needs of the specific location that they serve. So today we're celebrating the groundbreaking of our newest location, Marmalade Branch. And I'm sure that the residents of this neighborhood are going to take as much pride in a library devoted to their community as the communities that are or will be served by the city library's other 6 branches. This library is going to provide access to a combined collection of over 1 million items, an incredible array of adult, teen, and children's programs, but perhaps most importantly, and something that I take pride in as a director, and I know that the board takes pride in, and every staff member of the city library takes pride in, this is going to be a place for the community to come, to gather, and to discover their neighborhood, their city, and themselves. Thank you. Now, Eric Jorgensen.
Now him. Thanks, John. Well, this is a great day. A few more thank yous, and then you'll be done, I think. I'm not sure yet, but thank you on behalf of the neighborhood and on behalf of the community for the great work that's been done in bringing this library here. Thank you to Mayor Becker. Thank you to John and others in the library staff, going back to Nancy Tessman, whose vision for a library here frankly couldn't be quenched. We're grateful. Thank you to Stan and the members of the City Council and the RDA, and to Jill Love, who's here, who's and it's there's Soren. Okay, wonderful. Jill, are there anybody else here that I this has not just been one City Council, not one RDA. This has been a lot of City Council members, and a lot of RDA members, and a lot of library staff, and a lot of neighborhood that has made this library possible and this day possible. John talked about 1 year ago. I'm going to talk about 15 years ago, when even longer, when some of the neighborhood got together and said, this is a place that ought to be a commercial center for our neighborhood. We need it, or a growing neighborhood, a revitalizing neighborhood. We need to have a change. We need to have something different. And thus sort of was the nascent seed of the Marmalade area and the Marmalade development. Mayor Becker kind of walked us through some of the problems and struggles and discouragement of this particular development, but today is a day where we can sort of pat ourselves on the back and say we've survived, we've lived through it, And here now we begin what will be a tremendous development foreseen years ago by some of the visionary members of our neighborhood and of our community. This is a great day. Thank you to each one of you for being here. Thank you to each one of you and many others who are not here, who've played a role in making this particular day possible, this particular library possible, and frankly, for making possible with this seed, this beginning, to what will be one of the great long-term improvements and betterments for this particular neighborhood, especially as we look to the east and the west and the north and the south and watch homes become reinvigorated, neighborhoods becoming reinvigorated. We've had great schools. Becky Pittum, Party Jacobs at West High, Becky at Washington School. This is a great neighborhood, one of the prizes of the city. I hope as a neighborhood, those of us who live here, we can be proud of where we live and proud of the heritage that we have and the future that will be. Thanks again to everybody. Thank you, John, for driving this forward. Thank you, Mayor Becker and Stan, for driving this forward. We appreciate it and look forward to turning some earth, and in a few years, less than that actually, in a few short months, turning some books. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Well, it seems like everybody has been properly thanked and fruit has been properly referenced, so I'd like to start with maybe with a message, but before I get to that, I always ask my wife for her point of view on what I should be saying at these things. She typically says, well, say something smart, and if you can't say something smart, say something funny. And I said, well, what if I can't do either? And she kind of leans over to me and she taps me on the arm and she says, take someone good looking. My message is this: libraries are powerful. They strengthen the communities, and like any good public building, they serve equally and equitably, regardless of race, income, religion, social status, sexual orientation, or age. Libraries are one of the few public buildings that serve the population from the 2-year-old to the 92-year-old or the 102-year-old. And that's why we as architects promote these buildings to our clients as important civic structures and stress the significance of how the right design and the right location work together to create a stronger community fabric. We were thrilled when the community, the library, and the city all embraced these ideals, at which point we could then focus on what would make Marmalade Library special and unique for this location to a strong, diverse, and historic community. Libraries are powerful. The Marmalade Library will be powerful for this community. For us, this project was about transformation at every possible level, transforming this vacant land with a new civic presence and creating the first phase of a marvelous new mixed-use development. We were honored to be awarded this project, and it comes with significant responsibility. We were also honored to be selected with Clearwater Development to take part in the exciting mixed-use development proceeding to the north. And the library itself becomes a catalyst for that development. The library will offer abundant community amenities, study rooms and meeting rooms, a cafe with a walk-up window, flexible space for recitals, film screenings, and community events, a beautiful reading terrace on the second floor that will afford views to the new park that's being developed, views to the Capitol building and the mountains to the east, and of course views to the south of the city skyline. So my message to you then is I encourage you to think of this building as a garden for the community. We're preparing the soil, and over the next year you will be able to watch it grow and blossom, transforming this plot of land into beauty and, yes, power. Your charge then is to treat this garden with love and respect, planting your own seeds over the years so that the memories you have are the flowers that you cherish for a lifetime. Thank you.
Kevin was in the room when we were joking about putting in the fruit references, so I see he took it to heart as well. I would like to introduce Safi Safula. Where are you, Safi? There you are. He's going to be the new branch manager for the Marmalade Branch Library, and he'll say a few words. He's really excited to be part of this vibrant community.
Still good morning, right? Good morning. Thanks, Ella, for introducing me. I am very excited to be manager of the Marmalade Branch Library. My staff and I are thankful for getting this great opportunity. We are grateful to the library administration for having such faith in us. And we'll make sure that we provide outstanding service to the Marmalade community as well as to the library patrons. As manager, I am looking forward to working with this community as well as with the faculties and students of the West High and Washington elementary schools. Let me introduce the groups who will be participating in today's performance. All performers are from West High School. The first group is the West High School Chorale. This talented group of 19 students is directed by Patricia Tate. West High School Chorale will be singing 3 songs. The first song, it is in Spanish, Esta Tierra. Second song, The Lion King Medley. And the third song is Spring Returns. The second group is directed by West High teacher Kara Budge and her students. The name of the performance is Crew and will be performed by a group called the Broestanas. Many thanks to West High Washington School Administration, faculties and students for participating in the Marmalade groundbreaking ceremony. And thank you to everyone for welcoming us to this community. We could not begin this adventure without your support. Thank you and enjoy the program.